What if I told you that a simple, old, dirty coin sitting in your pocket right now could secretly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yes. I'm talking about two ordinary-looking wheat Lincoln pennies. The 1948 Lincoln penny, and the 1951 Lincoln penny. Most people ignore them. Most people spend them. And some people accidentally lose a life-changing fortune, without even knowing it. But here's the shocking truth. One rare 1948 wheat penny has been valued at an unbelievable moneybag $940,000. And the 1951 wheat penny? It's been known to reach up to moneybag $430,000. Sounds crazy, right? But wait, it gets even more insane. Because not every coin is valuable. Only specific hidden versions, with tiny details, tiny errors, that 99% of people never notice. And that means you could be holding one right now and not even realize it. So before you skip this video, before you think this is just another old coin story, ask yourself this one question. Backhand index pointing right. What if I already have it, and I just don't know it yet? In today's video on Coin Jackpot, I'm going to show you the secret features that turn these pennies into a fortune. The hidden mistakes collectors are paying huge money for. And how to instantly check your coin at home. Because by the end of this video, you might look at your loose change very differently. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Because the next coin you ignore. 1951 Lincoln wheat penny. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Denver, and you can identify it by the small D mint mark located just below the date. At first glance, there's nothing dramatic about it. It carries the same familiar design that had been part of American coinage for decades. On the front, you see the profile of Abraham Lincoln, a design introduced in 1909. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the words, 1 cent, giving the coin its well-known identity as a wheat penny. The coin itself is made from a bronze composition, about 95% copper, along with small amounts of tin and zinc. When it was first minted, it had a bright reddish color known as red luster. Over time, most coins lose this original shine due to handling, air exposure, and general circulation. As a result, many 1951 pennies you'll come across today appear brown or mixed in color, showing clear signs of age and use. In terms of mintage, the 1951 penny was produced in large numbers. Millions of coins left the Denver Mint and entered circulation, which is why most examples are considered common, especially in worn condition. These coins were used in everyday transactions, passing through countless hands in shops, markets, and daily life. Because of this, many coins from this year show wear. The details in Lincoln's hair may look softer, the lettering may not be as sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may appear flattened. However, condition is where everything changes. A 1951 wheat penny that has been preserved in high-grade uncirculated condition becomes far more desirable. Coins that still retain their original red color, with sharp details and minimal marks, are much harder to find. These are the coins that stand out in the collector market, not because of the year alone, but because of how well they have been preserved over time. Now let's talk about the attention-grabbing idea of a 1951 penny reaching a value of $550,000. It's important to understand this clearly. That level of value would only apply to an extremely rare and exceptional example, something far beyond a typical coin. We're talking about a coin that is nearly perfect in condition, possibly with a unique mint error or an extraordinary level of preservation that places it at the very top of the grading scale. These types of coins are incredibly rare and are usually certified by major grading organizations like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. Grading plays a critical role in determining value. Coins are evaluated on a scale that measures their condition, from heavily worn to pristine mint state. At the highest levels, even the smallest imperfections can make a difference. A coin with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal surface marks can achieve a high grade and attract serious interest from collectors who are looking for top-quality examples. Another factor that can increase interest in a 1951 penny is the presence of mint errors. While most coins were struck normally, some may show unusual features such as doubled lettering, repunched mint marks, or slight misalignments. These errors are not common, but when they are clearly visible and well preserved, they can add an extra level of appeal for collectors. If you ever come across a 1951 wheat penny, the first step is to examine it carefully. Look at the color. Does it still have a reddish tone, or has it turned brown over time? Check the details. Are Lincoln's features sharp, or are they worn? Observe the surface. Does it look original, or has it been cleaned? These small checks can give you a better idea of where the coin stands. One of the most important rules to remember is to never clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and remove the natural appearance that collectors value. Even if the coin looks dull, that natural aging is part of its authenticity. Keeping the coin in its original state is always the better choice. For beginners, the 1951 wheat penny is a great coin to learn from. It's relatively easy to find, which makes it a good starting point for understanding mint marks, grading, and condition. You can compare different examples and start to recognize how wear affects the look of a coin. For more experienced collectors, finding a high-grade example or a coin with a unique variation can still be a rewarding challenge. The idea of a lucky wheat penny often comes from unexpected discoveries, moments when someone finds a coin that turns out to be better than average. While most 1951 pennies will remain common, a small number of exceptional pieces exist that stand out. These are the coins that attract attention, the ones that combine condition, rarity, and demand. Beyond value, there is also the historical aspect. The 1951 penny comes from a time when the United States was experiencing growth and stability after the challenges of the 1940s. Coins from this period were part of everyday life, used in transactions that shaped daily routines. Holding one today is like holding a small piece of that time, a simple object with a long journey behind it. In the end, the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is not just about a high number or a rare possibility. It's about understanding what makes a coin interesting. It's about recognizing the details that others might miss. And most importantly, it's about taking a closer look before deciding that something is ordinary. Stop right there for a second, because what you're about to hear might make you rethink every single penny you've ever ignored. Most people don't even look at their coins. They spend them, drop them, or let them sit in jars collecting dust without a second thought. But here's the reality: some of those coins carry more than just 1 cent of value. Not because every coin is rare, but because certain details, certain years, and certain conditions can turn something ordinary into something collectors actually care about. The difference is simple: attention. When you start paying attention, you begin to see things most people miss. Welcome to Coin Relave, where we don't chase hype, we break down coins in a clear, realistic way so you understand what actually matters. And today, we're focusing on a wheat penny that many people have seen, but very few truly examine the right way. 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny comes from a time when the world was adjusting after World War II. It was a period of rebuilding, growth, and change. Coins from this era were part of everyday life, used constantly in small transactions, and rarely saved with any thought for the future. That's one of the reasons why condition matters so much today, because most of these coins were used heavily, and very few survived in top condition. This coin follows the classic wheat penny design. On the front, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's profile, a design that had already become a familiar part of American coinage. On the reverse, the wheat ears frame the words, 1 cent, giving the coin its well-known identity. It's a simple design, but one that collectors continue to appreciate because of its history and long production run. The 1948 penny was struck using a bronze composition, made up of about 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. When it was first minted, it had a bright reddish color, often referred to as red luster. Over time, most of these coins lost that original color due to exposure and handling. That's why today, many examples appear brown or mixed in tone, showing clear signs of aging and circulation. Coins from 1948 were produced at 3 major mints. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a D, and San Francisco coins have an S below the date. These small letters may seem easy to ignore, but they are extremely important when it comes to identifying and comparing coins. Each mint had its own production characteristics, and collectors often look for differences in strike quality and preservation. Most 1948 wheat pennies you'll come across today are in circulated condition. That means they've been used in everyday transactions for years, sometimes decades. As a result, the details on the coin may appear worn. Lincoln's hair might look smooth, the lettering could be less sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse may be flattened. These coins are still interesting from a historical point of view, but their value usually remains modest. However, when you find a 1948 wheat penny in high-grade uncirculated condition, everything changes. Coins that have been preserved with minimal handling can retain their original red color and sharp details. These are much harder to find and far more appealing to collectors. The difference between a worn coin and a well-preserved one is not just visual, it directly affects how collectors see its importance. Now let's talk about the attention-grabbing figure, the idea that a 1948 wheat penny could reach a value of $440,000. It's very important to understand this clearly. A value at that level would only apply to an extremely rare and exceptional example. This would be a coin in near-perfect condition, possibly with a rare mint error, outstanding eye appeal, and certified at the highest level by professional grading organizations like Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. These types of coins are not commonly found and represent the very top of the market. Grading plays a major role in determining a coin's value. Coins are evaluated based on their condition, from heavily worn to nearly perfect. At the highest grades, even the smallest marks can make a difference. A coin with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal imperfections can stand out significantly and attract serious collector interest. Another factor that can increase a coin's appeal is the presence of mint errors. While most 1948 pennies were struck normally, a small number may show unusual features such as doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or other irregularities. These errors are not common, but when they are clearly visible and well preserved, they can make a coin more desirable within the collector community. If you ever come across a 1948 wheat penny, the first thing to do is take a closer look. Check the color, does it still have some of that original reddish tone, or has it turned brown over time? Look at the details, are Lincoln's features sharp, or are they worn down? Examine the surface, does it appear original, or does it look like it has been cleaned? These small observations can help you understand whether the coin is ordinary or worth further attention. One of the most important rules to remember is never to clean the coin. Cleaning may seem like a good idea, but it can damage the surface and reduce its appeal to collectors. Even a coin that looks dull or aged can be more valuable in its original state than one that has been altered. For beginners, the 1948 wheat penny is a great coin to learn from. It's relatively easy to find, which makes it a good starting point for understanding mint marks, condition, and grading. You can compare different examples and start to see how small differences affect overall appearance. For more experienced collectors, finding a high-grade example or a coin with an interesting variation can still be a rewarding challenge. The idea of a lucky wheat penny comes from those moments when someone finds a coin that turns out to be better than expected. While most 1948 pennies will remain common, a small number of exceptional pieces exist that stand out because of their condition or unique features. These are the coins that collectors focus on, the ones that combine rarity, quality, and demand. Beyond value, the 1948 penny also carries a strong historical connection. It represents a time when the world was moving forward after a major global event. Coins from this period were part of everyday life, used in transactions that shaped daily routines. Holding one today is like holding a small piece of that history, a reminder of how even the simplest objects can carry meaning over time. In the end, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny is not just about a high number or a rare possibility. It's about understanding what makes a coin interesting. It's about recognizing the details that others might miss. And most importantly, it's about taking the time to look closer before deciding something is ordinary.